King of the Ring is the WWF's second oldest supercard event, but yet it never really gets the credit that it deserves, especially since the WWE has gone back and forth on whether or not they want to treat it like an actual pay-per-view, which is a real shame because there are plenty of reasons why this majestic event totally deserves the regal treatment. And while the Rumble may be royal and WrestleMania might be the grandest stage, there is only one true king of shows. And it's the topic of this episode, because today, Dave knows 7 reasons why King of the Ring is so great. Tournaments. As the Cruiserweight Classic, the G1 Climax, and the Mae Young Classic show, tournaments are just really great in general. In fact, they're so amazing that when it comes time to introduce a new title or fill a vacant one, a tournament is often the best way to go about it, even if the WWE has to fabricate the actual existence of one from time to time, like with the Intercontinental or the WWE Championship itself. Anyway, even beyond wrestling, with everything from March Madness to martial arts movies, there's nothing like the excitement that comes from an elimination tournament that whittles down participants until only one emerges victorious. And for the WWE, the King of the Ring is the premier bracketed event above all others. Talent Showcase. The first WWF King of the Ring happened just months after the very first WrestleMania. And while WrestleMania is the showcase of the Immortals, KOTR has been a great way to highlight some great tech talent. Because since its inception, many winners have been real upper echelon wrestlers in terms of technical work rate. Randy Savage, Ted DiBiase, Tito Santana, these were all the kind of wrestlers that smarts could really get behind. Sure, this wasn't always the case, but overall, the King of the Ring would award many great workers with crowning glory more times than not. So while mainstream superstars might walk away as the winner at WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble, the King of the Ring was a nice way to spotlight other talent, especially the kind of talent that some fans felt were getting shafted by the main event scene, like Wade Barrett, William Regal, and Owen Hart, who won the tournament because of his brother Brett's lobbying for him to get the crown, stressing how much Owen Hart was being underutilized. And speaking of which, Bret Hart, who is the only wrestler to have won the tournament back-to-back, was allegedly awarded his second win at the 1993 King of the Ring as recompense for having to lose the WWF title at WrestleMania to Yokozuna, who then lost it to Hulk Hogan immediately afterwards, only to regain the title yet again at the 1993 King of the Ring. So, see how it all comes full circle? Path to greatness. For some, success wouldn't stop at the coronation. Many kings would go on to the main event scene. Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, Edge, Triple H, Brock Lesnar all got a taste of glory by first winning the crown before ever becoming WWE champion. Like the good old days of the IC title, winning the King of the Ring usually meant that you were earmarked for greatness. And the King of the Ring served as a great proving ground to see how you handled the big time. And even though not all kings would end up seeing a world title run in the future, for the ones that did, it served as a great milestone in their career. The revolution will not be televised. The King of the Ring began in 1985, but it didn't become a pay-per-view until 1993. And while not televising the event in some ways makes it seem less special, in other ways it actually made it seem more special. Now I know that's kind of weird to say and all, but hey, look at it this way. Back in the day, this supercard event was a special gem, only meant to be seen by a lucky live crowd. But also, the King of the Ring itself was kind of like the little big event that could. It went from being a special house show to becoming one of WWF's big 5 pay-per-views. Furthermore, unlike most house show events, the King of the Ring was considered canon. And what happened during the King of the Ring was talked about on air going forward, even if the show itself never made it to TV. Crowning achievement. When we talk about the happenings of the King of the Ring that would get discussed on air, of course we have to talk about the kings themselves. Like King Harley Race, who won the 1986 tournament but still continued the gimmick despite other tournaments happening during his time as king. But sadly, Harley would eventually have to abdicate his crown due to injury. During his absence, Race's manager, Bobby the Brain Heenan, re-crowned Haku as the new king. Upon Race's return, Harley would attempt to win his crown back, but to no avail. However, Haku would eventually lose his royal title to Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who would then quickly lose it to another King of the Ring winner, the Macho Man Randy Savage, who became the Macho King. That's right, even though Randy Savage did win a King of the Ring, he didn't adopt the King gimmick until after defeating Hacksaw Jim Duggan around 2 years after his KOTR victory. Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon. In 2001, what would seem like a throwaway match actually became the stuff of legend. Kurt Angle, one of the greatest professional wrestlers ever, was to work a street fight with the boss's son. At the time, this sounded like it was going to be terrible, but surprisingly, Shane McMahon proved what he was made out of. The biggest spot of the match was undoubtedly when Kurt Angle went to suplex Shane through what was supposed to be breakaway glass that was part of the entranceway set, but unbeknownst to both of them, it was actually plexiglass, which was not meant to break so easy. Shane ended up landing on his head and neck, and when Angle was ready to move on, Shane insisted that Kurt do it again until the spot went according to plan. After the match, Vince McMahon was allegedly so irate about what happened to his son that he was going to fire Kurt Angle right then and there. That is, until Shane stepped in and told his father that it was his own choice to keep going with the highly dangerous spot. From that day on, Shane showed that he was one of the boys and that he was not content to just coast by on his family name. He proved that he was just as tough and crazy as any wrestler, which is a major reason why he's so over with both fans and wrestlers even today. Austin 3:16. What many consider to be the kickoff of the Attitude Era, Stone Cold Steve Austin's coronation at the 1996 King of the Ring goes down in history as one of the greatest single promos of all time. After defeating Jake the Snake Roberts to become king, Austin's career was launched to the moon, instantly proving his place at the top of the card. This also gave way to the famous Austin 3:16 shirt that catapulted Austin to being one of WWE's top merchandise sellers of all time. Following this victory, Austin would enter a feud with Bret the Hitman Hart, culminating with their legendary 5-star match at WrestleMania 13. And this is made all the more interesting seeing that Austin was actually the second choice to win that year. Triple H was originally booked to win, but was taken off as punishment for the infamous Madison Square Garden curtain call incident. But when thrust into the top spot, you have to prove that you deserve it. And at the 1996 King of the Ring, Stone Cold Steve Austin did just that, and then some. Well, there you go, 7 reasons why the King of the Ring was so great. But what are some of your favorite King of the Ring moments? Let me know down in the comments. And don't forget to give me a big thumbs up as well as supporting me over on Patreon. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, this has been Dave Knows.